What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Miltrick Media. I am your host, Miltrick, and I am here with content creator and producer Dareese Develops. Dareese, how are you? Thank you for being here.
I'm doing great. Thank you guys for having me. It's a blessing. It's a blessing, man.
100%. I'm excited to have you on. So, not only do you do content creation and numerous other things, you're also a music video director. I first met you, I believe, on Instagram like over a year ago at this point. You were on one of the first live streams I did, like the premature Miltrick Media on IG live streams, and now I'm excited to have you on the podcast finally, like, out of the studio. So you've been doing a lot of music video directing. When did you first start directing music videos, and what made you want to get into that?
Man, I actually first started directing music videos in around 2018. It started off well when I was like in high school. We did like little mini like music video projects for our like cinema tech class and whatnot. But I wasn't really like didn't take it serious until 2018. It was more so like I wanted to transition into something I could do for myself. And something that was missing here in Hawaii was just a whole hip hop scene. So I wanted to kind of develop that and start off with social media and showing just that Hawaii does have a home for hip hop as well. And I kind of want to express that to the world.
Yeah, that's amazing. So a big slogan I see that you're constantly marketing and promoting, and it's inspiring. Develop every day, always develop. That's a big part of your channel and your brand. Where did that first come from, that saying and that mindset you have? Where did that first come from?
Man, so I always, uh, that's a tough question. I can't really pinpoint exactly where it started. It was just like from creating, I always kind of wanted to be better than the person I was yesterday. I kind of never, oh man, that's a tough question.
It's all good. Take your
Yeah,
time. No worries.
yeah, but like, I guess after I graduated, I always kind of progressed. It was like from high school, I went into college. College, I got 2 bachelor degrees. From there, I still wasn't happy. I became a manager of my company. It still wasn't it. And I really wanted to create something original. I followed the whole corporate pathway, and it wasn't really something for me. It didn't bring happiness. So I wanted to develop my own brand, my own skill sets, and something that just really came from within. And in order to do that, I had to be constantly learning new things. I had to get a real education, not a college education. I had to learn the content creation, learn the social media, learn like how to be an entrepreneur. And I feel like from starting my entrepreneur journey in 2018, that was when I really said like this whole path of entrepreneurship is an everyday developing, and you really can't stop. You can't stop learning, you can't stop growing, and you can't stay stagnant. You got to stay consistent.
Yeah, that's a great point. I feel 100% the same way. Like, after going to college, attaining a bachelor's degree, then after coming out, the job search, then working a 9 to 5, and I still do. And 9 to 5s are great. They could fuel your side hustle. But yeah, I'm realizing I would love to be my own boss and continue that. I want to do that. I want to be an entrepreneur. I started that journey in 2019, and I'm willing to do whatever it takes to make that the full-time reality because I love it. And yeah, with content creation, music, that's the same mindset. That's the same playing field I'm on as well. I know exactly what you mean. But with a lot of your content and what you're putting out, why do you think it's so important for content creators to evolve?
Because this world is moving so fast. Like a lot of people, they think like as content creators, like what you currently, I feel like the best example would be TikTok. By the time we see things on Instagram, it's already too old because it was like 2 weeks old on TikTok. So if you're not constantly doing something original or constantly like evolving, then you're already behind.
Yeah.
I feel like that literally comes from, and it's not really coming from like finding the newest trends or finding like what's happening right now. I feel like evolving and staying up to like staying on top of everything you're doing. I feel like that comes from finding your originality and constantly evolving yourself and finding what makes you happy and what you're interested in. And I think that's how you stay consistent and stay constant.
Yeah. Let's talk about the importance of consistency with content creation and in the digital world. How important do you think it is to remain consistent?
I feel like consistency is the most important. Actually, it's like it's the number one thing.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people, they have a misunderstanding of what consistency is. They think like, oh, I have to post on Instagram every day, or oh, I have to make a Instagram reel every day. But I really think consistency more so is just like doing something within your niche or within your field consistently. Like, if not necessarily being online, but going out and learning or reading a book about it or connecting with new entrepreneurs or networking. Doing something like that every day means way more than just making an Instagram post or doing a reel.
Yeah.
Actually getting out of the house and being in the field around people who are doing the same thing as you. That's where consistency shines the most, I feel like.
Yeah, and you see a lot of content creators in different fields, in music industry, other industries as well. That's a great point you brought up, how consistency sometimes people it's different. Their meaning of consistency and what they execute may be different. Like, do you think it is more important to experiment and try different fields of content where you're just kind of figuring it out? Or do you think that finding a niche is really important?
I think it's more important to do everything you're interested in, because right now we're in a world where it's the duality of things, like artists are on TikTok making music but cooking in the background, or they're knitting with their music, or they're um they have like a podcast with their music. It's all about the duality. I think doing one thing and sticking to it is not the way the world's going. You need to show all your talents and show that you can do multiple things and put it all together, and that's who you are.
Yeah. And as long as you're passionate about it and you love it, yeah, you can't go wrong because then you are showing the world your talents, but it's based on what you love, so you can't go wrong because you enjoy
That
doing it. And you never know who you may meet because you're trying to get outside the box, you're trying different things, you never know what it could lead to.
I know for me, like my biggest challenge in the beginning was I was always stuck on thinking I needed to have one specific niche. I needed to stick to it, and it caused me to be consistent inconsistent in certain areas. But it wasn't until I realized that I just need to be me and do everything that I enjoy doing consistently every day that my niche will present itself over eventually, pretty much.
Yeah, yeah. So another thing you're big on is branding. You help artists with branding, developing their brand from the beginning, and you post a lot of great content that's informative in that manner. So, with branding, what do you think are the most important aspects of branding for an artist's career? What advice do you have to new artists with branding?
Mes- Message. What is your message? What are you trying to tell people? What are you trying to get out there? Like, what do you want people to leave with after they interact with you? Every single time, whether it's your music, whether it's your Instagram posts, whether it's your colors, how do you want people to feel? And that's always the main thing you want to get across is and I guess it's the emotion you give off as your brand. That's the main thing. Yep. The emotion.
That's a
Emotion
great
and
point.
message.
Yeah, the emotion, the message is a great point, and how maybe audience members can connect with this artist. So, when you're developing a new artist, how do you work with them to accomplish that? Let's say an artist, they come to you and they say, Dareese, I really want to get my message and emotion out there. How would you advise an artist in accomplishing that?
So I always start off with artists from music videos, because I feel like music videos is the best way, especially if it's your first music video. It's one of the best ways to kind of tell the world and show the world who you are and what message you give across. So I usually will sit down with artists and I will kind of get to know them, dig deep into like what their dreams are, where they want to go with their music, how they want to impact the community and people, and what type of people they want to be around. And then from there, I kind of just go into like creating the emotion with colors, with messages, with angles, with camera stuff. And I also try to like help the artist sustain that message within themselves too, like help them know if you're a sad artist or your message is fighting depression. I'll help artists kind of stay consistent with that message, with their colors, with what they post on their social media, with who they are. And you just kind of gotta keep that, yeah, just it's all about helping the artist find that, trying
Yeah.
to find how they can, yeah, how they can add that in all aspects of their artistry.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. In 2022, do you think that to be a successful musician, you need to be a content creator?
I don't necessarily think you need to be a content creator to be successful, but it does help. It does help a very lot. I feel like almost all the upcoming successful artists right now, they know how to operate a camera. They have I guess I always believed in having a little bit of knowledge in every field of what you do. So if you're an artist, you should understand a little bit of how to use a camera, of how to do effects, of how to engineer, of how to produce. That way you have an idea of how to explain to each person and you respect them in their artwork,
Yeah.
I feel like the level we're at now is you can't go to somebody and ask them, "Oh, I just want like a little video," without knowing the what all the work that goes behind creating that video, because nothing nowadays is little. Even a 15-second reel takes 30 years of knowledge to get people engaged.
Yeah, it takes years of knowledge to be able to execute that in a quick, efficient manner. Yeah, I agree with you. It's like you don't have to be a master of all these things, but it's good to have some knowledge and to have some of the skills of these different tasks because then it helps you convey what you may want. It helps you show what you're trying to get across, or just helps you try and like convey what you want. You may be able to more efficiently tell whoever you're working with, hey, like this is my vision. I want to try and go for this. Let's make it happen. Yeah, that's a great point. So
I-
we're both technically, you consider yourself an entrepreneur. What is your favorite part about entrepreneurship? What made you fall in love with it?
I'm just like, I love learning. I love developing. That's where my whole brand came from. Like from reading books to just with entrepreneurship, it's a everyday challenge. You're never like when you reach a goal, the next goal is bigger. Like you're never the best you can be, and there's always a way to become better. And I feel like that just amazes me. I can never reach a ceiling. Whenever I feel like I'm stagnant, it's because it's my own fault, and there's always something new to learn, and always some new way to grow that I just have to find and change my perspective to see. And that's what I love about this whole entrepreneurship. You can never say I learned everything.
Yeah, there's
You,
always
you
more
can
you can
say
learn.
yeah. And
So,
never say I know it all.
yeah, yeah, you can never say you know it all. So, tips for brand new content creators. What advice do you have to content creators looking to get started, but they don't know what step one is? How would you advise them?
If you're a content creator looking to get started, you don't know what step one is. Step one is consistency for 90 days, I would say. I would say find something that don't even you don't even really even have to find something. Just do something every day for 90 days, whether it's post on social media, whether it's go out and take one picture, whether it's shoot one video, just do it every day for 90 days. And I feel like that will give you an idea of what it takes to really do it every day and whether you're going to like it, whether that's something that you will continue to do further or whether you're going to pivot within that industry to something you like better.
Yeah,
And I give everything I do, I give it 90 days because it takes 90 days to build a habit.
yeah,
So if you don't give anything 90 days, then you really didn't give it enough time.
yeah,
But with this camera stuff, like I feel like once you find a solid like niche that you like, then you have to give it 3 to 5 years. Because if you don't give it 3 to 5 years, then you really didn't give it enough time. Because I feel like even 3 to 5 years isn't enough time. Like me and you, we knew each other since 2018, 2019, and we're here 2022, finally now reaping the benefits of everything we did back in that day. So
yeah.
it's really the everyday consistency and staying at it.
Yeah, and we're still building, we're still trying new things every day. We're still learning. Like I feel like, yeah, even though I went to school, even though I've done learning on my own, like, yeah, I'm still learning. I'm still in the mindset where I need to keep evolving. I need to adapt or die. That's how I feel. Like I need to keep adapting or I die. You know what I mean? Like just I can't be closed minded to anything. You know what I mean? Like more skills, the better. Like, and it's cool. Like it kind of like it's a high in a way when if you're trying something new and you find out you love it. It's like wow, I didn't even know that door could be open yesterday. You know what I mean?
Facts. Yeah.
As a
Exactly.
content creator and a music video director, where do you go the most when learning new skills? What online resources do you love visiting when learning new skills? Where do you
Man,
go?
YouTube University, bro. YouTube University.
Yeah. Dude, YouTube's a new
I mean,
college. It's great.
facts. Like I feel like I literally have a doctor's degree in YouTube to where we're at a point now to where when I watch YouTube videos, I get mad at myself for not actually going out the house and doing it.
The
You know,
implementation.
so yeah, I think that's the main thing. So now I'm at a point to where instead of watching YouTube videos, I kind of go out and apply my skills in a different aspect of the industry. You know, so since I shoot music videos, instead of shooting music videos, I'll go and shoot commercials for small businesses or help out with food trucks and stuff, just to give my sharpen certain skills that apply in other places, but it gives you a break from what you're doing every day, you know?
Yeah. When you're looking up YouTube videos and learning new skills, finding new information, as a music video director, what are your favorite channels to visit? Where do you find the most knowledge from currently?
Currently, I would say a lot of my favorite YouTubers, I guess my one of a lot of my favorite YouTubers usually didn't start off in the music video industry. The
Yeah.
one who did though that I've been watching and I still watch to this day is definitely YC Imaging. YC Imaging, he's probably one of the biggest influences on YouTube in my life when it comes to music videos. When it comes to content creating, has to be like Creative Ryan. Creative Ryan, he's always dope. I love his colors, love everything he does.
Yeah.
But actually, everything with camera really started from like Peter McKinnon. You know, his energy, his shots, the beautiful scenes he creates, and that really has nothing to do with music videos. He's more of like a travel vlogger.
Yeah.
But I applied the skills I learned from watching his channel to music videos and to content creation.
Yeah. So that's what I want to hone in on too then. In terms of video production, do you have 3 top channels? What are your favorite channels for video production on YouTube?
I recently actually just found a new channel because he talks more about, it's not really new, but it's new to me because he talks more about self-development, and it's Nicholas Crystal on YouTube.
Nicholas
Nicholas
Crystal.
Crystal.
Cool, okay.
Yeah. He's a pretty much he's like a travel vlogger. He makes beautiful scenes, beautiful videography, but he does it in a form that promotes self-development. So I feel like it was most aligned with my brand, and it helps me really kind of learn how to apply and really build that branding around video and developing, you know?
Yeah. You're putting the 2 and 2
That's
together. Yeah.
yeah.
What does self-development mean to you?
It means really just like kind of going back to our earlier conversation, you know, it's really just being consistent at not like stopping, you know? It's just like knowing that there's always something, a new perspective or a different perspective, or there's always something that you can do every day to make you a better person,
Yeah.
whether it's emotionally, whether it's like physically or creatively, you know, like you can't stop at just like wanting to be the best artist. You have to be in the best shape. You have to be able to wake up early. You have to be taking care of your body, you know,
Yeah.
and I feel like that's what a lot of us creators forget when it comes to consistency.
Yeah. That's a great point. When it comes to video production and directing, what advice actually, no, I wanna come back to that. So I wanna talk about the branding. So going back to branding, we talked a lot about colors and how that could really get the point across. How important do you think colors are in branding? How should an
Oh
artist
man.
approach that when they're trying to build their brand and they're thinking of colors? How important are colors to branding?
colors is super important, but at the same time, I feel like you can get lost in it and caught up because every color does mean different things. Like green is growth, yellow is knowledge, um, red could be power or it could be aggression, you know. And you kind of like sometimes when you're thinking of branding and kind of like thinking of what message you're trying to get across yourself, you get stuck in that.
Yeah.
But I feel like as humans, we kind of give meaning to everything. So whatever colors that you lean towards best and that you feel like portray or that you feel comfortable with, I feel like you can turn those colors into meaning whatever you want it to mean.
Yeah, I learned when I was learning marketing in school and then even on my own with YouTube videos and articles, I didn't even know that until a few years ago where the different colors in branding and marketing, they mean something. They convey a certain ideology or message. And with all these major brands, like why they may have chose those colors, it's different colors have those meanings. It's so fascinating how when you look at the major brands in the world and the colors and brands they chose, why they chose them, what they were trying to convey when they chose those colors, it's fascinating. I never knew all that when I was younger or a kid. Like you just think, oh, they just randomly chose a color because why not? But no, it was all calculated. You know, everything is calculated. It's fascinating. That blew my mind, that realization when I finally learned all that. You know what I mean?
Facts.
With video
And I feel like,
production, oh, I'm sorry, what were you saying?
oh no, I was just gonna say like, and I feel like with like the whole Dareese Develops brand, kind of, I feel like it all started off as like a black and white plate. You know, my main colors was black and white because I didn't really have anything. You know, I didn't have a niche. I didn't have an idea of where I wanted to go. I just kind of started off with a neutral plane and went from there. And from there, I kind of went to like adding some greens because I like to grow myself, adding some yellows because I like to share knowledge, adding some reds because I like to blow through competitions and make the best videos, you know. And from there, I feel like the colors just add on with the personality and what I like to do.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. With video production, people who are video producers, what advice do you have to video producers that want to gain new clients and build their client list?
So I feel like this was the hardest thing for me in the beginning that I really didn't do as much that I wish I did more. It's, I guess, more so create mock-up stuff. Don't be afraid to go out and create things on your own. You don't need someone to hire you for something in order for you to learn how to do it. You know, like if you want to make a Apple commercial, sit down, watch an Apple commercial, and try your best to recreate it. Because no matter what you do with your cameras, with your location, with your scenery, there's no way it's gonna be exactly the same. It's gonna have your own originality, and you're gonna see where your own, I guess, style comes into it. You know, and from there you just capitalize on that and keep growing and build your portfolio. And once you have your portfolio, keep pushing it out there because I feel like a lot of people, they would post things one time and if nobody sees it, they're like, oh dang, you know, it's not good. But the internet is being blasted with so much content right now that it's one time isn't going to get the message across. You know, you have to find multiple times to say the same things, find different ways to repeat your message until people finally hear you.
That's a great point. You need to find multiple ways to promote your new work, your new message, because the internet is so crowded. You need to find a way to cut through
Yeah.
the clutter. There was times where I would only post things once, but I realized just because you post it once, maybe not everyone in your following has seen it. You need to repost it. There's nothing wrong with reposting it. You're not necessarily being annoying if you repost. People don't always see things because there's so much out there. How important do you think that is to creators? How can they cut through the clutter with reposting? Do you think that they should just repost the same thing? Do you think they should try and change up the visuals? What do you advise?
I advise for every, so I tell a lot of my artists is like a lot of people, they think like, oh, we can just shoot a music video for my one song and after I drop the one song in the music video, that's it. But I'm like, no, that's why a lot of people, they already made hit songs, they just didn't market it enough.
Yeah,
And that's why they never got seen. You know,
that's a
so
great
I
point.
feel
Yeah.
the best thing to do would be like to find a way to like create reels, create pictures, create ways to show the emotion, the feeling you had when you were in that like moment of making the art.
Yeah.
And and you have to like the best person, I say, if you're looking to kind of grow and learn the whole social media and the whole Instagram and how to repost. I follow this girl on Instagram called Vanessa Lau.
Yeah,
She
I've seen
really
some of her videos too. She has great videos on her YouTube. It's filled with knowledge in terms of marketing,
she's
entrepreneurship.
amazing. Yeah, she's amazing when it comes. That's probably one of my top entrepreneur YouTubers slash Instagrammers that really helped me clear a lot of the fog in my head and stop holding myself back, because she really does lay it all out there for you and tells you it's really up to you on whether you want to change or not.
Talking exclusively about Instagram, how important do you think using Reels are in 2022?
I mean, I started off as a photographer. So from seeing how Instagram used to promote us photographers versus how now if you post a picture, nothing happens. I think learning to incorporate reels and short form content is the biggest thing right now. If you cannot capture someone's attention in 15 seconds, then it's really going to be hard for you to gain success online.
Yeah, I feel like they're pushing Reels hard to compete with other short form content. You have Facebook Reels out now, you have TikTok. I feel like content creators, they should be focusing on Reels, engaging short form content, and also having a content mix. Do you agree that for a content creator, Reels should be toward the top of your list in terms of priorities for growth?
Definitely, but I also think it's like up to your brand, like what message are you trying to get across, because there's some people like for me, I do reels in order to like kind of like just give back to people, but
Yeah.
my message is always developing, and everything about my brand short of is a long form thing.
Yeah.
So for my brand, in order to show progress from like before and after, then and now, it's kind of hard to give that away in like at 15 seconds. So I try to create more so long form YouTubers or like podcasts like this, and kind of just build more engaging relationships. Because at the end of the day, it's all about rebuilding that, giving across your emotion. Like what message are you trying to get across? How can you tell your story best?
Yeah. So when you're creating and directing hip hop videos for an artist, what do you do when creating that video in order to make that song and that artist stand out with hip hop videos?
Oh man, it starts off with, once the artist sends me the song, I listen to it on the drive to work, on the drive home, any free time I have, in my headphones. I listen to it at least like 30 times. And then I get a feel for like, how does the song make me feel? Does it make me feel sad? Does it make me happy? Does it get me hype? Does it make me want to go out the house and start working out?
Yeah.
And then once I have that idea, I try to build it around like who the artist is, what their interest is, what their hobbies are. And and then it goes to like, then I start to think of like, okay, so if this artist is a hype artist, then we're gonna go for high contrast, colors. It's gonna be nice and colorful, more studio vibe. Whereas if they're more of like a mellow, maybe like a sadder artist, then we're gonna do a lot of more desaturated colors, more blues, kind of sad in the vibe, and get that message across. Maybe always looking down on the artist because making them look smaller than life. Whereas high contrast artists, you would want them to look larger than life, so the camera would look up at them. And just all these different things that I keep in mind when I'm building the treatment for these artists.
Yeah. So moving forward, 2022 and beyond, what projects do you have in the works? What's going on next for Dareese Develops?
2022, I want to really get more deep into the whole emotional aspect of not only my brand, but of all the videos I've been creating. So I want to kind of start to build more of a platform to where people can actually go to see more of my music videos, because a lot of people ask me about the videos I create. And then I also want to start to create more like kind of just like vlogs and behind the scenes of like our life that we live here in Hawaii, and kind of like what we do every day as creators, to kind of show people that even if you work a 9 to 5, or even if you think you don't have time, we all have the same 24 hours. You just got to use it the best of your ability.
Yeah, that's a great point. We all have the same 24 hours. You just need to use the time as wisely as possible to the best of your ability. What one last message do you have to content creators moving forward?
Oh, man. I think the last thing that I've been thinking about a lot was we can't forget to have fun. We started this off to create a way for us to enjoy what we do every day. And I feel like a lot of us, we get stuck in the point of, oh, I have to create content. I have to blow up on social media. I have to network, have to get seen. That we start to kind of get into this form of self-defeating. Like we start to compare ourselves to people who could be way better than us or who started off way before us. And I think it's really just all about just have fun, enjoy what you do. And if you, as long as you're doing that, you won't mind doing every day. You know, you won't mind staying consistent. Consistency comes easy when you remember that you're doing it for you.
Yeah, that's a great point. That's a great message. Dareese, thank you so much for coming on the show. Where can we find you on social media? Let us know all of your social media platforms and channels. Let the audience know where we can find you.
Thank you for having me. You guys can find me on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, all at Dareese Develops. I use YouTube for long form content, try to show more behind the scenes, give more messages. I use Twitter just to give like everyday inspiration, everyday developing motivation. I usually drop like a quote whenever I can, or just a message for everybody to kind of get up, start their day great. I use TikTok to be funny, kind of tell cameraman jokes, stuff like that, and Instagram to show everything I do in 15 seconds, 30 seconds.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's great. Everyone, be sure to check him out on all social media platforms at Dareese Develops. Also, subscribe to his YouTube. Check out his content. Dareese, like I said, thank you so much for coming on the show. It was a pleasure. And we will see you soon. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to another episode of Miltrick Media. We will see you soon.
thank you for having me, brother. I appreciate you.